Hey everybody, and welcome to AniBreak, the show that breaks down the week's topics in anime, manga, and videos games. My name's Jason, and happy 2014 to all of you. We are here on January 1st. I hope most of you had a great holiday season, what with Christmas and of course with New Year's. I'm pretty sure some of you may be trying to nurse a hangover from last night. Thankfully, I am not one of them. I just slept a lot today, so who knows what if I just slept through the hangover, but. Happy holidays to all. Hope you guys had a ton of fun. And let's hope that 2014 is better than 2013 for the sole fact that while 2013 was very busy for a lot of us, and there was some, like every year, there's some major ups and downs. I know for some of you, the downs may have outweighed the ups a little bit, but here's hoping that 2014 is better for everyone regardless. And it's going to be a great year for anime, considering considering a number of titles that have been announced and then subsequently delayed into 2014. Let's hope that they actually make it sometime in the next 364 days. Or else we'll be pushing back to 2015. Let's not do that. Although, there was a nice little event happening on December 31st. If you had a Crunchyroll account, you probably watched it. It was the Sword Art Online Extra Edition, the little special OVA. And there was also a little video that was released near the end. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, well, why don't I just show you it then? That's right, we're getting more Sword Art Online in 2014. It is fantastic news. This one actually is based on one of the original light novels that focused on a brand new multiplayer online game called Gun Gale Online. And this game, as you could probably guess from the little sneak trailer video, that it focuses on not only firearms, but also knives and lightsaber-like weapons. This is not going to be any like the fantasy kind of stuff you saw in the first two seasons of Sword Art Online. And honestly, I think it's all the better for it. This is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, for those of you who've been following the games that have been released alongside the anime, that this book, or this adaptation of this book, was actually already adapted into the games itself for PSP and PS Vita. There also was a drama CD based in this world, but I'm very glad that they're going to continue on with these light novel adaptations because let's face it, there are a couple things they could have done better in the first two games, we just call them that. They deviated a little bit here and there from the light novels, but you know what? That's going to happen. In adaptation, it's not a direct, quote for quote repeat. It's all the main ideas with a couple little twists added here and there. That being said, I'm kind of hoping they stick pretty close to what they did in Gun Gale Online because this one should be amazing. That's all I have to say. Moving on to some other news that came out actually on Christmas, and I was ecstatic for this news. I'm going to kind of age myself a little bit, but you know what? I don't care. It's fantastic news. There is an organization in Japan called Daicon Film. They're based in Osaka, and they're like an independent live-action / anime film production group. They were very active in the early to mid-1980s, and apparently in 2014, it's going to be their 33rd anniversary. Usually you have 25th, 50th, 75th, but they're going to go with celebrating their 33rd anniversary. That's perfectly fine because they announced they're working on a new film project that actually goes back to some of their early roots, and it's so good. They announced Daicon Film 33. So, this is just a teaser image for the anniversary project, and that silhouette is actually from the infamous bunny girl from the Daicon 4 film that was released back in 1983. I was 1 year old at the time. I actually watched the Daicon film a few years later when I can actually understand what I was watching, and it was absolutely amazing. The concept of this project is a revival of Daicon film, and obviously, along with this brand new film project, there's going to be tons of various goods and merchandise to be available. We will have more information about this very soon, actually in a week from today, January 8th. So obviously we're going to get at least another film. I'm looking for more. This is going to be amazing. For those of you who don't know what that bunny girl looks like, the infamous bunny girl, this is a shot from the Daicon 4 opening sequence. This girl has been cosplayed as. It's been there's been tons of throwbacks to this single character in a number of anime works throughout the years, especially in Gainax work. So for the side bit that I don't know, one of the original members of Daicon Film, when they left Daicon Film, they launched a little studio called Gainax. So that's why you had this nice throw-in and tie-in with a lot of Gainax and Daicon projects. It's fantastic news. I cannot wait for it. I will hopefully have more information for you before next week's episode. It's going to be fantastic. For those of you who have never heard of the Daicon films, we're probably going to give you a taste of what to expect during the post-show in Zen. So you stick around for that if you're watching live. Okay, let's move on to a trailer for another upcoming film. I've already showcased the first teaser trailer. This new trailer is a little longer, and all it does is just make me wish that this movie was already out. This is going to be a hopefully fun ride. It was a series that I absolutely adored. And the thing is, though, when you first watch it, it's a series that, okay, this looks kind of campy and cheesy. It's not going to be so much fun. And then it pulls you in, and you never stop watching straight until the end. So this is the brand new trailer for Bodacious Space Pirates, the movie. That's right. Coming out in 2014. Not too far from now, in mid to late February, you are going to have Bodacious Space Pirates, the movie. I cannot wait for it. Now, this movie, I'm kind of hoping for basically more of the same from the TV series. I mean, they did change a couple things, which you normally do for a movie that's added on to a series. It's not a rehash of it. I'm looking forward to a brand new story. The full title for this movie is called Bodacious Space Pirates: Abyss of Hyperspace. I am to show just how much I'm looking forward to this. During Right Stuff, their annual holiday sale, they had the Bodacious Space Pirates series on Blu-ray, and one of my gifts to myself was ordering the entire series on the 2 Blu-ray sets. So those hopefully will be coming in very soon, and I'll probably just marathon the whole thing again in preparation to watch this movie. And I hope you guys do the same. If you have not watched it yet, head over to Crunchyroll, go watch it. You'll have an absolute blast with it. It may seem cheesy for the first couple episodes, but trust me, the formula they use just plain works. Speaking of stuff to buy, Viz is getting into a few bits of releases that I really want to start collecting. They already made the announcement a few months ago, stating that not only are they going to re-release the Ranma 1/2 series, but also give it the Blu-ray treatment. And we finally have some additional information about the first season release. So, coming March 25th, Viz will be releasing both a standard DVD collection and a special edition Blu-ray collection of the first season of Ranma 1/2. They will be continuing to do this for each of the following seasons. So they will both include all 23 episodes from the first season. There's a New York Comic Con highlight reel. The DVD version, the standard version, about $45. The Blu-ray version will have the same 23 episodes taken from a recent Japanese Blu-ray master. That's going to be amazing. I mean, granted, it's still going to be in its 4:3 aspect ratio, but I don't care. There's also a couple other additional videos from their New York Comic Con reveal, a pair of features about Ranma 1/2, and plus, as you see in the bottom of the screen, a 64-page episode guide. Like I said, the DVD version, $45. The special edition Blu-ray version is $55, and these will be up for available for pre-order on Amazon, Right Stuff, and Robert's Anime Corner Store very, very soon, if not already. And the thing is, though, given the time frame of how long between seasons that they're going to be releasing these, I don't have these on. Well, let me rephrase that. There are people who have the full series on DVD already. I used to. I only have some of it now on DVD. To have it remastered and look beautiful on Blu-ray, and at that price range, oh, I'm all for this. I'm going to be picking this up day and date of release. It's going to be amazing. I hope you guys will be checking this out as well. I believe you can go on Hulu right now and actually catch part of the first season if you haven't watched it yet. It is just pure fun. It's crazy, it's stupid at times, but the characters are lovable and a bit, well, some are more crazy than others. Let's just say that. Like, I don't know, Shampoo. Shampoo was kind of crazy. All right. Moving on to kind of an odd bit of news from Ufotable, that they did an incredible job with Fate Zero, and it brought a lot of new fans into the franchise. A lot of people actually went back and watched Fate Stay Night when it came out a few years back, but it actually wasn't handled, the production side at least, by Ufotable. So they looked at it going, okay, decent. It's not the best quality, but it was actually had a decent story. But I would love to see Fate Stay Night done in the same level of production quality as you had from Fate Zero. You know, I wonder if that's actually going to happen. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen. So we are getting a remake of Fate Stay Night. Now, it's interesting to note that throughout the trailer, as well as a lot of when a lot of the initial promotional materials came out, a lot of people thought that they were going to focus on Heavenfeel, which was basically one of the story arcs within within the visual novel. But it looks like they're going to focus more on Saber this time around. Well, okay, fine. Saber was a major draw of the Fate series, especially in Fate Zero. So it makes sense for Ufotable to actually go ahead and focus on Saber again, even though in this remake. I'm quite sure a number of you will probably go out and actually play the visual novel if you can find it. I think J-List maybe have it or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure if I can find it, I'll probably do the exact same thing. So that video was released just this past weekend. Of course, perfectly timed with the most recent Comic-Con, which was just last weekend. And you can go online and see a flood of images of the cosplay and just how huge these festivals are. And my goal is to make it to at least one of these sometime in my life. So I've been to Japan a few times. I should be able to go back and go to this, so it'd be a great thing to go check out. So yes, brand new Fate Stay Night, full remake by Studio Ufotable. Okay, let's jump back to 2013 for a moment, shall we? It's time to look into how many different anime titles were released in the past year. Did a count online, and I final count of just anime series. We're not talking OVAs. We're not talking movies. We're not talking web series. I'm talking about just plain anime that was shown on Japanese broadcast television. The total comes up to 127. Kind of crazy. I do not know of a single person who watched every single one of those series. I know I watched a great deal of them, but I personally didn't even get close to that 127 number. Mostly because there was many things out there that just didn't appeal to me. And I'm sure there was many things out there that just didn't appeal to you either. There's also the bits that weren't actually officially released here in the States, either streamed via Crunchyroll, Funimation, Viz, a number of those places. Other people decided screw that and they can torrent themselves. I'll stick with the stuff that was legal. That's fine. More than enough stuff for me to watch. But let's take a look at what I was thinking regarding the best and worst of 2013. Now, I know a few of you already responded to what we set up as our our best and worst hashtag, which was OtakuLife best, OtakuLife worst. And it's funny to read your responses because all of you guys focused on the best stuff, but not a single person talked about the worst. And given some of the ones that I've selected for me personally as the worst of 2013, I may get some hate mail for, so we'll see what happens. That's why we're going to start with the worst. I picked about 5 or 6 for best and worst. They're not in any order whatsoever, so I can't pick like the number one worst. But these all were just I questioned why they were made in the first place. Let's start off with the one that some people will probably be surprised at me at. One of the worst anime of 2013 in my mind, in my eyes, was AKB 0048. Now, I will say this. Studio Satellite did a phenomenal job with the production quality. I think they did an amazing job at making it look just gorgeous. Not only utilizing, at least for the singing scenes, a combination of hand-drawn animation and CG, a la what you would normally get in like one of the Idolmaster video games. So it did, for the concerts, look pretty. But this is a series that I was just never, ever able to just get behind. I just could not do it. For a number of reasons. It was, one, some of the detail just got way too out of hand for me. Like having a heart in each of the characters' eyes. Okay, that kind of looked nice for some of the promo shots, but when you have that so prominent in each of the girls' eyes over and over and over again, it kind of just doles out everything. The storyline was just ridiculous. I mean, there's no way you can get around that. There really wasn't any way. But even so, there's been a ton of anime out there in the past that has been able to take a ridiculous idea for a story and make it work. This one's saying music is banned and they do these impromptu guerrilla concerts to spread, hope and peace and love and whatnot. These are some of the most elaborate concerts I have ever seen in an anime film, and I look at them like, you're holding guerrilla concerts in something that would rival any concert that Macross Frontier put on. So yeah, it just wasn't for me. I couldn't really get into it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say right off the bat that is probably one of the worst of 2013. Moving on to another one that I had high hopes for and just ultimately failed, which was Blazblue Alter Memory. When this was announced that Blazblue was getting an anime series, a lot of us were very happy for this, thinking that, okay, cool, if this does well, then we will get what we've been asking for a very long time, almost a decade now, and that is a Guilty Gear anime series. And when you see the promo shot, I mean, you see this, I'm like, okay, that looks cool. Decent detail. It should be fantastic. The fight scenes should be great. And then we get this crap. Things that look completely like there's so little detail in each of the characters. Whether they're talking or just looking around, even in the fight scenes. You look at them and I'm like, really? This is what we're going for? This is what we've been hoping for a while? And I will say this. There was a good thing about Blazblue. In the fight sequences, the music was awesome. But the only reason why the music was awesome was because it was pulled from the actual games. So that's not even really like an original soundtrack. I look at this and I'm like, seriously? You could have done so much better. Now, any hope of possibly getting a Guilty Gear anime probably just walked out the door. It is what it is. All right. Moving on to another of my worst of 2013. Was a series that had a very odd premise. But I gave it a few episodes, and I tried to give it a shot. I just could not stick with it. The Japanese title is Dansai Bunri no Crime Edge, also known as the Severine Crime Edge. The idea behind this is that there are several supernatural murder weapons, specifically murder weapons called killing goods. The main character, Kiri Haimura, owns a pair of sheaths that can cut seemingly anything. But then, of course, he meets a girl who has hair that cannot be cut. And the two of them go through these process of meeting all of the people who have all the other killing goods, and they try to fight each other. There can be only one kind of thing. Yeah, I never thought of scissors as like killing weapons, especially shears like that. It didn't really work for me. I mean, there were a fair number of characters who were, let's just call them unbalanced. But overall, it was predictable. It was dull. Nothing really shocked me. And when they tried to shock you, like try to forcibly shock you, you kind of laughed at it. I looked at it and went, no. This is not for me. It may be for you, but honestly, I couldn't get past episode 5. That's saying something. So, yeah, Severine Crime Edge wasn't for me. Next up on the worst list, and we got a couple more left for the worst. I actually sat through this new series, this next series, completely, in hopes that it would get better. But I was just wrong. I was so wrong. I'm talking about Photo Cano. This series, okay, obviously was based off of a visual novel, and there was many people out there who were worried that this would give cosplay photographers a bad name. Well, you guys already had a bad rep, so therefore this is just adding to that. So the whole idea behind this series, the adaptation I should say, was just you have Kazuya Maeda. He's a high school student, receives a digital camera from his father for his birthday, and he starts a brand new hobby. He enters the school's photography club, and apparently all these girls around him, for one reason or another, start allowing him to take photos. Whether it being, hey, I want you to take my picture, to, okay, you're going to blackmail me, so before you do so, I'm going to let you take pictures of me in interesting situations. And most of it involves swimsuits. Literally, this is an anime adaptation. In my mind, this is basically what a gravure video would look like in anime form, just with camera lens. That's all it is. That is all it freaking is. You look for anything deeper than this, and you're not going to find it. Hell, even the fan service at times is just forced and pathetic. Yeah, it just got to points where I'm watching this going, really? This is what we're looking at now? This would passes for ecchi? Yeah. Sega fan in the chat has it right. Photo me like your French girls. Oh, that is perfect. I love that. So yeah, Photo Cano. I actually sat through all 13 episodes, and I was hoping for at least one of the girls' story arcs to be actually entertaining. No. None of them were. Absolutely none. It was a waste of time for me, and yeah, could not stand it anymore. Thankfully, I have not heard of anything regarding another season, which is always good. But okay, I would actually watch Photo Cano again over watching this next one. This is our last one in the set of worst anime of 2013, and it was just ridiculous. It was no. It was called Meganebu. It came around the same time as Free. And a lot of people were saying, oh, this is like Free. It has all these guys in a club together in high school, and they're absurdly fascinated with glasses. Like, you can have characters who love, glasses, girls in glasses and whatnot. No, these guys are kind of just ridiculous in many, many senses of the word. Yeah, all these characters of the Glasses Club are just stupid. The art style is utilizes neon colors so much. I had to turn down the brightness of my TV in order to not be squinting at it. I was just not a fan of this. Now, granted, I am by no means the target demographic for this series, but because it came with such fanfare, I decided to give it a shot. I got through 2 episodes, just 2, and I went, nope, can't. It's not for me. I mean, I've seen crazy slice of life comedies like this before, but this one just did not do it for me. Sorry, not for me. So those are my selections for the worst of 2013. Out of the 127 anime titles that were released, those were the 5 I just could not stand. So that's just me. But let's get to the best. And I have to say this. In creating this list for the best, I went through a number of titles that I really enjoyed watching. But I went back through the list and went, okay, each of these have their own great merits. But would I watch them again? And the ones that made the list, I would watch again in a heartbeat. You may notice, we'll talk about at the end, there are some that seem to be missing. It's on everybody else's top 5 list. Why is it not on yours? I'll get to that afterwards. But let's get through my top 5 right now. And let's start off with Kyokai no Kanta, or also known as Beyond the Boundary. This is the latest work from Kyoto Animation, or KyoAni for short. I think in terms of animation style, they really outdid themselves. For focus on moe blobs for so long, like K-On!, Tamako Market, and whatnot, they kind of went the other way with Free, and that was actually a very enjoyable series. And then they came back into this one. And it does have some faults, I will say that. Not any anime is perfect. No anime is perfect at all. But given the storyline, had a decent, it was decent for a storyline. The dialogue was okay. There were a couple things that I just couldn't get into a little bit here and there about how, our main character is supposed to be a freaking klutz, but yet also a master at weapons and fighting the Yomo. I saw that and went, that's one thing I just couldn't get behind. But every other aspect of her I really enjoyed, the character design being first and foremost. I will have to say, it did have a very unique turn one episode. People will probably remember this exact episode I'm talking about. This was completely unexpected and was the talk of the internet for that week. And I think they did a great job of it because no one saw this one coming. So, but it was actually a real enjoyable series. I'm kind of hoping for more. And given the fact that a number of KyoAni titles have always gone on for another season or an OVA or at least a movie, I'm hoping for more for Beyond the Boundary. It was actually a fun little piece. Let's go on to another title this is on everyone's list, and it's for a damn good reason because Gainax is awesome. They're psychotic and they love to drop acid, but they're awesome. And we're talking, of course, about Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill was, when you watch it, a lot of thoughts and feelings come to mind. One, what were they smoking and can I get some of it? 2, this looks like Gurren Lagann meets back in high school. It could be a throwback to some of the classic 80s, early 90s bad anime action series. And of course, everyone who talks about this has to talk within the same sentence about the outfits, because these have already caused such a stir online when they first were released that people thought there's no way in hell anybody's going to try to even cosplay that. No, there are several people out there who have tried to cosplayed it very well, and some of them have even gotten in trouble with the police because of them for indecency laws. I kind of wonder if Gainax employees were like, let's try to design a character outfit that no one could cosplay as. And of course, a lot of people went challenge accepted. But when you look at this, and I'm just keep on saying Gainax. The thing is, though, this is not done by Studio Gainax, even though it has all the classic Gainax titles. But there's a good reason for that, because all of Studio Trigger, which actually did the production for Kill La Kill, are all former Gainax employees. So it just makes perfect sense for them to continue the same style on, because the world needs more Gainax. And if Gainax themselves can't handle it, then what the hell? Bring in Studio, make a spin-off studio, call Studio Trigger, move on, and just make everyone happy. This is a fantastic addition to anybody's collection, and I cannot wait to pick this one up on Blu-ray. Okay. Yeah, we'll just keep on going in order. Okay. This next one, I had to throw it in there. It did technically start in 2012, but honestly, most of it was shown in 2013, and it was still one of my favorite of the year. I'm going to continue to go with that, and that is PsychoPass. PsychoPass, like I said, started in, I believe, October of 2012, but ended in late March, early April of this year. So most of it was actually shown during this year, which is why I'm including it into this top 5 list. This series got kind of dark and it was very techno-punkish, which I really like and enjoy. It was very Ghost in the Shell in a lot of styles, and mainly in the sense of the storyline, how it dives in deeper to the human psyche, and how technology can either help that or break it. It did get very, very dark at times, which I absolutely loved. And I'm kind of hoping that, yes, I know we are getting not only a second season, but also a movie. I want those now, and I want more after that. So this series was amazing. The soundtrack was great. If you are a fan of, lighthearted shows, this is not for you in the least. But it's definitely worth checking out. If you have a kind of a strong stomach and you're willing to listen to some heady dialogue, you will really enjoy PsychoPass. Go check it out. Now, I'll say that one for the last. Let's talk about some comedies. I could not pick between these two as to add a comedy to the list, so I decided to throw both of them in there. The first one, Silver Spoon. This one kind of surprised me. A friend of mine, back when I went up to San Francisco to help out with Japan Expo, introduced me to this when it was about 5 episodes in. He was already a big fan of the manga. And I watched the first episode and then sat there and proceeded to watch the remainder of the 5 episodes that were released in order, because I could not get enough of this. You have this main character. He's very smart. He couldn't figure out what he wants to do with his life. So instead of sticking around in the city and trying to go for a degree, he enrolls in basically an agricultural college out in the middle of nowhere. And so you kind of think, okay, yeah, classic city boy in the country, he's going to do crazy stuff, blah, blah, blah. But he really, jumps into it and adapts to it. He's still kind of crazy at times. And I got to say, the whole part of him, semi-adopting this one little pig and taking care of it was absolutely adorable and also hilarious. Because in these type of colleges, yes, you're going to grow and raise a farm stock in order to be slaughtered and eaten. So for him to attach himself to this one little piglet at such a young age and raise it all the way until slaughter and then eat it, it's kind of poignant in a couple of ways, but it was a ton of fun. The animation style, there's nothing fancy about it, but it doesn't have to be. This is a very simple anime. Simple characters, a real enjoyable story. It's something that you could easily find that would happen in real life, which makes sense considering there's a live action movie adaptation in the works right now. But the characters are fun. They each have individual personalities. You can separate them at a glance and also just by how they act. Um, all the different characters were hilarious in each of their own ways, though. I will say that this was actually a very big surprise for me and a very fun treat. It's about 13 episodes long. There is a second season that was recently announced, and like I said, there's also a live action movie adaptation in the works. If you have not checked this out yet, it is still on Crunchyroll. Do yourself a favor, sit down, watch it, and just enjoy. The other comedy, which probably is one of the more controversial ones that's on my list, is, of course, Watamote. This one I like to call cringe comedy anime. Because this one, how can I say this? You have Tomoko. She's a girl that wishes so bad that she could be popular, but she's not. And a lot of this series deals with her teenage angst of she desperately wants to be popular, but she's not. Therefore, she's going to go ahead and go crazy and internally have all these long conversations and monologues about how all the popular kids are freaking crazy and stupid, and how she wishes they would all die. But she secretly wishes she wants to be at least accepted. And the reason this is kind of controversial because a lot of people let me phrase that. In a lot of different series, some people might love it, some people will hate it, but a lot of people will just enjoy it. This one had a finite line. You either loved this series or you hated this series, and I loved this series. Especially when watching with friends who didn't really feel comfortable watching it, so I'm a fan of Schadenfreude. Also watching Tomoko try to do little things to try to make herself look pretty, and let's just face it, she failed miserably several times. It was hilarious. I absolutely loved it. So I'm hoping for more. I don't think we're going to get any more in terms of a TV series. I do know that the latest volume of the manga will actually receive an OVA attachment. It's like a 30-minute OVA. I don't think we'll ever get that here stateside, so you might need to import that manga and watch the Blu-ray that's bundled with it. But now for my favorite anime of 2013. And I'm sure it's on many people's lists as in their top 5. It's my number 1. I will say that it is my number 1 favorite anime of 2013, and that is Gatchaman Crowds. This one hooked me from the first episode. This one was absolutely mind-blowing in terms of the animation style. It popped. It had great use of colors. It looked fantastic. When they transformed, which was a nice homage back to the old school, Sentai films where they have these, elaborate transformation sequences, they were fantastic. I really enjoyed it. When they did finally transform into their Gatchaman outfits, they were all CG, and I think actually the way they designed these characters' outfits in CG worked so well with the art style. I think it blended better than anything else I've seen that year. The characters themselves, they each had they were deeper than you initially saw them, because when you look at this, you think someone stabbed Joseph and shredded his Technicolor Dreamcoat all over this anime. And that may be true, but the characters themselves actually had really sometimes dark and disturbing backgrounds. One of my favorite characters was actually Rui, and well, I keep on calling her she because she's always dressed in these fashionable female outfits and whatnot, and it's actually a guy. Took me several episodes to figure that one out, and at that point I went, don't care, still awesome. But when you watch this, the first few episodes are okay, yes, it's just having fun with it. You're not going to look for anything deep. But as the series progresses, it starts questioning things like, what does it mean to be human, and the existence of being a hero, and what you can do as a person. What can society do together, whether it's just by humans helping out other humans, whether interacting with technology. It actually gets pretty deep. I was pleasantly surprised by the last few episodes. And of course, Season 2 was announced, and I cannot wait for it because, well, let's face it, when Season 2 was announced, I kind of went a little crazy. That's about what I had. Yeah, that is exactly what I had going on there. So yeah, that is my selection of the best and worst of 2013. Now, if you guys have your own ideas or your own thoughts about what I picked, feel free to let me know. You have my Facebook, you have my Twitter. Please, I would love to hear your guys' responses to these. If you guys want to post your best worst, I mean, we'll do a collection of them and post them on the OtakuLife website soon. So you guys have multiple options there. I want to hear from you guys because I know there's a few choices that I had that you guys will probably look at me and go, I'm crazy, I'm smoking something stupid. And, you know, I've heard a lot. But you know what? These are my opinions, and I know you guys have your own opinions, and I want to hear your opinions. So let me know, either by Facebook, Twitter, and like I said, I will get the a couple of the best ones together, and I'll post them on the OtakuLife website. All right. A couple more things to talk about before we wrap this up. Nice way to start the new year with about an hour-long episode. Let's talk about a figure, because this figure is incredible. I know I keep on showing you guys figures that when you're looking at these, some of you may go, okay, it looks kind of nice, but do I really need to buy this? This one, I kind of have to say you do. If you're a fan of Kill la Kill, you're definitely want to pick this one up. It's the first figure for this series that I've seen available online for pre-order. And of course, we're talking from Kill la Kill, it's Ryoko Matoi. This is the Kamui Senketsu version, just before she's going to destroy her enemy, which whoever that may be at the time. This is actually a really nice pose for it. It actually captures the character pretty well. Could you see that her in this mode a lot? So it works out well. This is actually going to be by it's being distributed by Good Smile. It's actually been created by Fat Company, and they do pretty good work in the past. You have some time to save up for this one, although I would say pre-order it now because I'm sure this will sell out very quickly. It is 1/8 scale. It is going to be released not until June, but pre-order it now. And it's a little on the pricey side, about $90 US plus shipping. So, I mean, but considering what you can get with that, yeah, you guys probably should go check that one out. It's available for pre-order right now at all your normal places that you pre-order your figures from. You want to go check that out. Okay. On this show, we have covered a number of different games out there from Japan, whether they be visual novels, fighting games, JRPGs. But this one, I have to say, is pretty damn unique. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have played a dating sim at one point or another. But I don't think anyone's ever played a game like this, where the character... Well, let me show the front image. The title of the series is called, or the game is called Love, Brother Kun. So it looks like an everyday dating sim. But the transfer student, which always happens in these games, that you have to, well, some say date, others say seduce, is actually a brother printer. Specifically, a DCP-J952 Eco WA4 inkjet printer by Brother. Short for Brodan. And you go through this entire game having a full-on conversation and trying to date this brother printer. This is available for free online. You can go to it, just do a search for brother dating sim, or brother printer dating sim, and you'll find it. Yes, I'm sure you guys are all playing it for the story. Let's just come on, be honest. And when I did some more research into this and found out that this is actually a promo by Brother in Japan, the printer company. I think that's freaking brilliant. Because you have a demographic that is indoors for most of the time. I'm sure they print out a bunch of stuff. They love technology, and if you tap into what they like this. Not only are you going to get people who are going to laugh their ass off at it, but it gets them talking about it, which means most likely they're going to buy it next time they need to buy a printer. That's actually a brilliant marketing strategy. So yeah, go online, do a search for Brother Printer Dating Game. Could not believe this. It's a legit thing. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for this episode, the first episode of 2014. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out for the past now 2 years. Well, if you include 2014, 3 years. I've been doing this almost as long as my previous projects. And so, thank you guys for watching. There's also From Mother's Basement. This upcoming Sunday is our 75th episode. So you guys want to stick around for that. Next week on AniBreak, we're going to be showcasing the winter anime season preview. So hopefully we'll have a number of trailers to show you. We'll talk about what's coming out over the next couple months. I know a number of titles are going to be released over the next week, so it's a good time as any to start off with the preview guide. So thank you so much for hanging out. Stay tuned for post show and for AniBreak. I'm Jason. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.